Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Monday, the 20th of July. I'm Nadine Blaney. Well, Australian investors will be watching a pivotal week of U.S. earnings today. The local market is set to open up 0.62% or 54 points. U.S. earnings this week will be led by Alphabet. Its AI spending outlook could shape sentiment across technology and semiconductor stocks. Results from Intel, IBM, Texas Instruments, and Tesla also loom large. Ongoing Middle East tensions and expectations for the Federal Reserve's next rate move remain key market drivers as well. Wall Street ended last week on a weaker note, with the Dow Jones falling 0.8%, the S&P 500 losing 1%, and the Nasdaq dropping 1.4%, as investors continued to unwind position in high-flying AI and semiconductor stocks. The Philadelphia Semiconductor Index officially entered bear market territory, down more than 20% from its June peak, reflecting growing concerns that AI spending might be losing momentum. Despite the sell-off, the index remains up almost 65% this year. Valuations in the AI sector are also being tested after Chinese AI pioneer Moonshot really debuted a new open weight model, Kimi K3, that it claims could perform on par with OpenAI and Anthropic. In company news, Netflix tumbled more than 7% after issuing a weaker than expected earnings forecast. Uber also fell after announcing a $15 billion acquisition of Delivery Hero's food delivery operations. One bright spot was energy, though, with the sector the S&P 500's only gainer as oil prices surged on escalating tensions involving Iran. Earnings season has started strongly, however, with 90% of reporting S&P 500 companies beating expectations. On the macro front, U.S. consumer sentiment rose to a 5-month high, while housing starts and building permits weakened. Industrial production edged up just 0.1%. Cleveland Fed President Beth Hammack was yet another Fed official arguing that interest rates may need to rise, saying it's the first time businesses and consumers have told her inflation needs to be curbed. U.S. Treasury yields were little changed as investors weighed resilient economic data against expectations for Fed Reserve policy. 10s were about half a basis point lower. The U.S. dollar was broadly steady. The Aussie is sitting at around 69.7 US cents. Brent crude, as I mentioned, did climb on geopolitical concerns. It will remain in focus after the 8th straight night of attacks against Iran, and after 2 U.S. military personnel, now confirmed 3, were killed in Jordan. Brent settled 4.6% higher to $88.10 a barrel. Gold also strengthened on safe haven demand. Spot gold was up around 1% at $4,012 per ounce. Copper eased amid the broader risk-off mood. Well, the start of this week, locally, the jobs data will be the big one on Thursday. It's pretty quiet to start the week, I should say, where NAB expects the unemployment rate to hold steady at 4.4% and employment to rise 15,000 in line with consensus. The ECB meets on Thursday with no change expected. That does it for the day ahead. I'm Nadine Blaney. We'll see you tomorrow.